You just have to tell me if the following names are the names of an emo band or the names of a Lord Byron poem.
Damn it! Damn it! Come on, man!
Welcome to the Character Sheet, comicbook.com's official home for all things fantasy and tabletop. I am Christian Hoffer, and today I am joined by a very special guest. It is the one, the only, Liam O'Brien. Hello,
Hello,
sir.
hey, hi. Hello, hey, hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Me and Hellboy are doing good. Got a bunch of tasks cleared for the afternoon, and I'm all yours. What's going on?
Well, I have a handful of questions about some things that you are up to in Critical Role land. Well, first and foremost, how is the actual physical role land coming along? Any announcements that you can share about that?
Well, we have the coaster designed, and they've got the initial structure up, but it's going to be like a full year before, with all the testing before the actual carts can go. And then the immersive Jaffe Land that's the part that's furthest along. But there's all kinds of safety regulations, and all the actors have to be going through a ton of training that Tal isn't overseas. So we'll get there.
We'll get there. Well, I look forward to that being a viable alternative to Universal and Disneyland in the not too distant future. But in addition to that, you have, you and the cast of Critical Role have a live show coming up here in about 10 days since we're recording this.
Yeah. It's just this one I can't really fathom. I mean, it's coming whether I'm ready for it or not. But it's right here in our home turf, and it's in Griffith Park, which is a beautiful, gigantic park that I go to with my family and walk my dog in. And you can actually walk in the hills over it and like look down in the theater. And it's just a beautiful spot here. And the fact that we're playing our game together in this sort of Hollywood landmark is, it's mind blowing, and I can't wait. I've seen the Decemberists play there, and it's a magic location. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
So, this is going to mark the first time that Bell's Hells is, doing a live show. You've gotten to do plenty of live shows for the Mighty Nine and Vox Machina, but this is the first one for Bell's Hells. So, I guess first formal question is, how do you feel about Bell's Hells journey so far, leading up to this point, this first live show, only 100 episodes in?
Oh gosh, the live show overdue for this team. I'm very excited for them. I have a sense of where we're aimed, although I don't know, everything obviously because we never do. But it is an incredible landscape to be playing in, and I can't wait to crack it open for the audience, and then for world at large once we get to it. I'm excited to see Robbie walk out on stage and sort of ride the waves with us, which I never get used to it, but we've done that, a few of these live shows, and just the raw energy is so incredible. So plus Robbie is, am I answering your question? I'm just talking about Robbie Damon.
No.
He's old school theater like I am, and we spend all of our times in recording. Oh, there's a fly here with me. In recording studios and at game tables now. So anytime I get to go out on stage, it's just it's like going home, and I can't wait for him to get that too. Curse you!
This fly.
We can edit him out, right?
Yeah. Pete is going to shoot a laser from Vegas to kill that thing. So I've gotten to attend a couple Critical Role live shows, the Gen Con ones. And, I'm always curious, is there anything that you do differently to prep for live shows compared to the usual in-studio shows?
Well, I have yet to, but I been so busy, thought out things for Orym specifically, but every character is different. Help me remember in the heat of the moment, have I ever had Vax in a live show? No, right? He was Gonzo. Spoilers by the time we started doing live shows. But with Caleb, with a wizard spell book, there's so many possibilities. So I wouldn't say that I go and make a full blown Amy Carrero flowchart, but I do spend a lot of time sort of going over the possibilities and things that I could do. And it's live theater, so I mean, I think I do this at the table too, where I try to think of the most creative uses of things, but I certainly do for our live shows. I mean, like what would be some magic to do on stage? But now I got my little guy with a sword, so I'll have to. I don't know. I haven't even gotten to the prep, the launch pad yet. But I better
Oh,
soon because it's. You said it's 10 days.
yeah, it's 10 days.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
no pressure. You, one of the things I've always talked about the Critical Role live shows, is I compare them kind of sporting events.
Mhm.
The energy is very similar there. Do you feed off that energy at all when you're sitting up there on stage and like people are
Mhm.
screaming with every natural 20 and stuff?
Absolutely. It's like getting a ray gun shot into you, moment after moment. And after a lot of years in the theater, so it's not a surprise to me, but when you do anything on stage, the audience is pretty much like an additional character in the room with you, with one very large voice. So you can't really block it out. There's no reason to. You want to play with them and hold and hold for laughs, but not just laughs, but like dramatic effect. And you can tell when an entire audience is silent. You can hear a pin drop, and so you're definitely just the same way that I work with Marisha or with Sam, and we know each other backwards and forwards, and they're your scene partner. Audience is kind of like a scene partner, and again, they're one that is shooting like a Godzilla -1 beam of energy into you the whole time. So it is definitely a different experience. It's different. I don't know if it's better or worse. I love the intimacy of our table. And as a practicing extroverted introvert, I love being able to pretend that no one's watching when we sit at our table. So there's a lot of strength to that quiet and that intimacy, but there's also no denying the raw power and fun of performing live on stage.
So we're approaching Bell's Hell's third anniversary. It's coming up here in like 4 months. And
Hmm.
this campaign compared to the first two, I feel like this is the first one that's really tried to uh, strongly tie into the Critical Role continuity, so to speak.
Hmm.
Have there been any cameos in this current campaign that have really surprised you that you weren't expecting?
Um, yeah, yes. I mean, the biggest one, and I mean, I know that this was quite a few episodes back, but I'm still going to dance around it just in case someone is wandered in here. But what we reached a point in the story, the biggest left field hook to the face that Matt gave us in the story when there were multiple player characters from past campaigns together in one spot.
Hmm.
I didn't have any inkling that any of that was coming. I was thrilled enough when one Ghost of Christmas Past visited, but then when the second shoe dropped, I was floored. Which you saw it, and it's hard to fake how stupefied I was. But there have been some more recent ones. And I love it. I mean, Matt has been laying bricks so long that, of course, we're now like turning around and seeing the buildings that got built around us. You can't, it's not like we're in a vacuum. So we're just building on what was there before. And if each story is focusing on some of the more consequential people in the world, it's not like it's Jimmy the fishmonger. It's Vexalia Derolo or Beauregard Lionett, major players in the world. So it's not surprising to me anyway that occasionally those people might be in the same spheres of influence. And we love all these characters. They're all our babies. We love the world. I love the world getting bigger and fuller and richer and intersecting in ways that I didn't anticipate. And there were a lot of ways I didn't anticipate in campaign 3. That's all gravy to me. I'm loving it.
Now I'm going to ask you a very spoiler question. So if you are not caught up with campaign 3,
Hmm.
turn away now. Just
Okay.
fast forward like 3 minutes. So, Liam, do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and remember that Bax is still a crystal ball?
It's on my mind quite a spoilers. It's on my mind quite a bit. He's essentially a AAA battery, right? He is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
battery to unlock the cosmos. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like if people, are smart and try hard. Maybe he'll get out of his pinball, but that remains to be seen. I never expected to see him again. I was very content and satisfied with the end of campaign one's story. I'm not opposed to seeing him back, but I was very satisfied with how we left things. I thought it had a very strong like narrative finish, and I felt satisfied creatively and emotionally and all that. And I just don't know what's going to happen. So we are all there participating together, but I'm also alternately an audience member sitting at the table watching things go down. So I don't know. Let's see. I want to see.
Yeah. I can't tell you, like, probably once a month goes by where I just think like, oh, Vax is still just there, just a ball.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know how many critters actually like think about Vax, like, oh yeah, he's still stuck there. I feel like if I'm thinking about it, obviously you're thinking about it, I'm sure a lot of critters are too.
Sure.
So in more recent episodes, Orym's been in the center of a lot of like intra-party conflict. We just saw, if again, spoilers for recent episodes. You've gone to a conflict with Laudna. Orym got into conflict with Laudna, not you. This isn't the first time that characters have kind of gotten into conflicts with other party characters, and I'm just kind of curious, like, what goes through your heads when those like conflicts kind of come up. And because this is improv, and you're a trained theater actor. But what goes through your head when you see these conflicts starting to emerge? I always feel like you specifically kind of lean into them a little bit.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, the most recent, I didn't really see it coming, and as it started to unfold, the emotions that we feel when you're performing a role, whether it be in a role playing game or on stage, it's all role playing. You're playing a role. When that moment happened, and others have had it, it shocked me. It surprised me. I didn't see it coming, and in that specific moment. And I think hey Fly, I'm in the brain of my character at the time. So like the sort of role played emotions feel real, but really at the same time, I get excited. I mean, that's why I got into theater. That's why I became an actor, and why I love going to the theater and watching film. I don't go to see everyone in as a get along gang. I mean, that's nice sometimes, but I want conflict. You can't have stories without conflict. So in that most recent moment when Marisha, I saw that she was getting into some fuckery, and then it started to unravel on her, and I could see that it was going to lead. I was thrilled. Like I was like, oh, I get to get in the boxing ring with my friend again and have a little boxing match. It's great, and she and I laughed our asses off about it because everyone remembers the butting heads in campaign 2 in that one specific moment. But that's not even the only time. Like there's a great moment in campaign 2 that I've always loved where we went on that sort of heist job into a nobleman's house, and we agreed to just get in and get out. But my character Caleb is trying to get as many things that'll help him as possible, so he does whatever the hell he wants. And I loved that sort of triangle moment between Ford and Caleb and Not that many people remember, and we all do. I mean, of course. You then go after the fact, you're like, oh, it's so painful, or it's so hard, or how will they get out of it, or will they get out of it? Will Vax get out of that ball? But at the same time, those ups and downs are the roller coaster that we signed up for. So, if you ever see us at the table going like, happy place.
I wanted to just, speaking, this isn't really intra-party conflict, but this is somewhat related. I was curious, are you aware that there are currently over 600 Dorym stories on AO3?
What stories? You broke up just a hair.
600 Dorym stories. Orym and Dorian shipping stories.
Yeah. No, I didn't know there was a number. I mean, I assumed that someone was writing stories in that ilk, but I didn't know the number. I should read some.
Do you I mean, some of them are quite good.
I've
I was going to
tried 'em.
ask, are you officially like a shipper of Dorm, Dorian and Orym?
Uh, well, I mean, Orym is a little in love with him for sure, but I don't know where the story's gonna go. You know, like last campaign, Caleb was a little in love with Jester, but it didn't mean I shipped them. It was just part of the nature of Caleb's brainscape. Um, I'd love for Orym to find happiness in life.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, and I sure do like that Robbie Damon, and I like his character Dorian a lot, but um, I don't know where it's gonna go.
I'm always curious on how the cast kind of treats all the different like shipping relationships and stuff like that. I mean, you've been part of some of the biggest, characters have been part of the biggest ships in Critical Role. And I'm how do you handle that? Because you have to know that the fans love that, and you want to respect the fans, but you want to let the story kind of take their course. How do
Right.
you grapple with that?
Well, I mean, it's great that people love the romances, whether it be the ones that end up happening or the ones that they hope for. I love romance and stories. Um, I think that's one of the areas where I kind of just keep my attention focused on our table and my own brain because I don't want to. It's already make believe, and there's 8 of us with ever so slightly different visions of a make believe space. And I felt like if I were ever to go like reading other people's ideas of where the fiction is, where the story is going to go, or how they see it, which they're entitled to. Art interpret art. Art is to be interpreted, but I don't want to confuse my make believe with their make believe. My make believe is hard enough to keep track of. So, boy, you better credit that fly in this video. Um, I love that there are 600 stories about Dorym. But I'm just figuring out between Robbie and me and our gang what's going to happen next.
So, one of the big central themes of this campaign, obviously, is about the gods and basically whether or not they should get eaten by
Hmm.
Predathos. Um,
Right.
Orm obviously is very much team gods, but I was kind of wondering what your thoughts about the gods are in the context of Exandria. And
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Orym being Team Gods is quite right. He definitely is a little apart from the others.
Mhm.
He's not religious. Um, it's funny because through the nature of EXU with Obria's run and the story that we've done in campaign 3, gods have paid a little bit of attention to Orym. Both his sword has been blessed. That was an offering from a god, and gods spoke to him in EXU. He has met the matron, so he's had some dealings with God, but he's still not religious. He's still cut from the same cloth that sort of Marisha wove with her Ashari, which is like we're handling things down here. And really, I feel like Orym's relationship to the gods or his opinion about them is just part of the ecosystem of the world we live in. And we're not on a swashbuckling adventure where most things in the world are going okay. We're rocketing towards a potential extinction event.
Mhm.
And from Orm's point of view, there is no predicting, and he thinks it's more likely, way more likely to cause irreparable harm to the whole world than be a good thing. So it's not like I love the gods, guys. Everyone should have the gods in their life. It's more like don't don't build a nuclear reactor right 10 feet down into the ocean. It's probably a bad idea. So, he knows that there have been instances of great ill committed by gods in the past and of good, and he knows that some of them are selfless and some of them are selfish, and there's a million interpretations, kind of like how religion is scattered all over the place in our world. But it really is not about gods are great. Get on the Godspell bus with me. It is please don't nuke the world we're in. We only have one.
Well, that it kind of answers a couple of these questions I was going to ask you. But Do you ever think that no, I mean that's great. Do you ever think that like Orm, or so like Orm's in favor of keeping the status quo, let's say. He doesn't want, he thinks that the world without the gods, would be far more devastating than the world with the gods.
Only
Do you
because he thinks that what Ludinus wants to do with Predathos could cause extinction.
um
Millions of people dying. It's not like let the gods
yeah,
have their
yeah,
due. I don't know if they should have their due or not. Right now, I feel like there's gonna be earthquakes and the seas are gonna boil. So if that's the status
uh,
quo, then yes, that is the status
yeah.
quo that he's trying to keep life and breathability.
I guess this speaks to of this story that you guys are all weaving here, that this is a really nuanced theme that keeps coming up here, and there's not a great answer to it.
Mm,
But it's several party members, Dorian, he's we know the cat the viewers know has a lot of resentment towards the gods because of what
mhm,
happened with the crown keepers and his
right.
brother. And obviously Imogen has been kind of tempted by Predathos, or is we'll say apt to its persuasion. Do
Mm.
you think that Orm would be willing to like fight his friends, this found family that he has, should one of them ever say, you know what, guys, actually I think we should let the gods get eaten?
Um, I think he would. I don't think we've reached that point yet. I think that he's had that in the back of his head, but has thankfully not had to have um, that arise. So, if say, for instance, Imogen was like, "Yep, I'm going to walk into that building and absorb Predathos and start eating the gods," and Orm would take issue with that. He would try to stop that, but we haven't. It hasn't progressed to that point.
No, no, no. And hopefully we'll never get to that point. But it
Although it
does
could
seem.
be fun.
I was about to say, like the extinction level event, would make for a heck of a
Well,
campaign 4. Let
the-
me tell you.
yeah. If there's going to be a world-ending event, then you don't do anything in half measures. It's all strong choices. It's all you're making choices you would never make
Mhm.
in normal. Everything's fine circumstances.
Oh, that's part of the fun of role playing.
Yeah. Yep.
I have a somewhat of a technical question.
Mhm,
Nana Mori.
mhm,
Orm made a deal with her, and then technically she held up her end of the bargain. Bell's Hells returned from Ruidus, the water portal, all that stuff. Then, again, spoilers. We're getting to some spoilery stuff here, so please, for love of God, um, click away
I will
now.
give Nana Mori anything if she will just get this fly out of my office.
Yeah, the second deal to be made here.
Mhm, mhm,
But after the death of FCG,
mhm.
how do you think that Orm feels about that pact and the state of their deal?
Okay, yeah, this is super super spoilery, so please
Super
shut off this
spoilery.
video if you don't want to be spoiled. Um, you were going in one direction with this question, then you went somewhere else. So first, I'll say I have no idea what's going to happen. If I still don't know what's going on with the
Yeah,
pack.
yeah, yeah,
I haven't seen
yeah.
Mori. I don't know what's going to go down. But what I and Orym have been sticking to was there were a bunch of words said that night, and all of us coming back was one of them. But the other thing, after we had sat with Mori for an hour talking about the mission we were going on, when
Mhm,
they kicked off the conversation about the pack, Orym said, I want all of us to see this through." So if it was just
mhm,
get us all back, then I would have been like, well, that's it for me. But he also said everyone has to see this through, and letters did not see it through. Like, yes, they went to some weird town, but they hadn't. Their whole point of going was to learn about the place and then report back to Keyleth of the Ashari and other important people in the world and prep them for what is ahead of us. And that did not get accomplished by the time they came back, and
mhm.
we came back without letters. So that's the first part of the question. So Orm thinks he's okay, but he wouldn't. His shoulders are still up about it. Um, and then as far as letters being gone, like he didn't want to be right. He knew how he believed. I through Orm believed that it was a very dangerous undertaking, and it wasn't like I'm at Vegas playing craps. It was, this has to happen. We have to go. Ultimately, we have to succeed, even if some or all of us don't make it back. It's that important. And I really think it's more likely that we won't all make it back. So, hey, lady with the magic gifts, please give me a magic gift. And if by some miracle we all get it back, all come back after doing what we have to do, then it's worth what I'm giving up. But he really thought that things were more likely for the chips to fall in his favor on that sad bet that he made.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wish that a big part of me, Liam, wishes that he'd been wrong and that they'd all made it back.
No.
And Orym, obviously, but me, like I didn't want to lose Sam as letters. I still don't know where Sam's head is at. We don't all tell each other everything. We still surprise each other all the time, and he is still in surprise mode. So
I was going to ask if he's given you any hints about what's nothing.
Nothing to me.
That answers that question for everyone who says that Liam always makes Sam's characters.
At the start of the campaign.
Only at the start.
Maybe he's this fly.
Yeah, maybe. This fly is basically the co-star of this interview.
Mm-hmm.
Before we jump into the lightning round, because I've been really digging into very specific questions, just to bring it back to the Bell's Hells live show. Going into it, anything that you want the fans to know, think about, expect, other than the unexpected.
The Greek theater is an incredible theater to see anything in. So I mean, we're going to be under the stars. It's going to be magic. So it's just, and no matter what happens, it's going to be magic. Our fantasy setting is incredible where we're at. It's Bell's Hells' first time riding that wave. You all want to see Robbie Damon get on a surfboard and go out in front of the crowd. He's going to be fantastic. And, I don't know, but I believe we're in the last stages or shuttling towards the latter part of this campaign, and so big things are happening in the world, and Matt has a good knack for teeing up those moments for when we walk out on stage. So come join.
Well, like I said, I can't wait to watch it. If I lived on the West Coast, I would be on the front row. Unfortunately, I'm literally 3,000 miles away, but maybe next time. But before we let you we usually like to have our guests run through a lightning round with producer Pete. Because your characters tend to have a theme throughout these three campaigns. Even though Orym's just a normal, well-adjusted fellow.
I think he's full of hope.
He is. He is.
He's my very good boy.
He is a very good boy. The only normal one of the bunch. It's what I love about us. So Pete, what do you got for us today?
So for the lightning round, let's see here. We've had I guess there's a couple characters now you've had with some tragic backstories to them, and you've also done a lot of voice work and voice directing for anime. So our first little series of quizzes here is: can you recognize which of the following tragic anime backstories is not real? One of these four will be fake.
One of these is fake. You're saying
one of these is
four
fake.
Things. One's fake. Okay.
One's fake. First one is
from real actual
anime. I can list the anime.
Okay.
The first one is: a genius kid figures out his mother has been secretly killing all of his friends and selling them to demons, but he can't do anything about it and has to watch it happen for years.
Okay.
The second one is almost all of a child's body parts and organs are traded away to demons. Demons are apparently part of everyone's backstory. By his father in exchange for prosperity for his house. And he has to use a prosthetic body to fight all of the demons to get them back. The third one is: an exhausted salaryman is sent to a parallel world after being hit by a truck. But as soon as he arrives in the magical fantasy world of his dreams, he gets hit by a cart and gets sent back to his original world, only with a worse job than before. And the fourth one is literally any character from Berserk.
Well, we know it's not D. Because that's all kinds of messed up. Boy, I could throw a dart at a dartboard. So this is really an ABC question.
Hmm.
So it was my mom's been selling my friends.
Yep.
It's my dad's been selling body parts, and I have to get into a prosthetic suit to stop it. And the last one is a salary man who goes
He gets
to
double
an alternate
isekai.
somewhere.
He gets
Okay.
sent to a parallel world and then immediately sent back to his original world, but with an even worse job than he had before.
But the word you referenced the word salary man, so I feel like that's real. I don't know the answer. This is going to be a guess. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that B. I have no conviction in this. That B is the fake story.
Yeah. B is the plot to the anime Dororo. So actually real. C I made up. The double isekai thing I just made up.
Oh, the one that I was convinced because I had the word salary man. No.
All right. But anyway, this one I think this is maybe my favorite one ever and should be more fun because it's just sort of a fun one here. And that is you've become known for your love of playing characters that some would call sad boys. But the one thing sad boys love is emo music. So we're going to play a round of emo band or Byron poetry. You just have to tell me if the following names are the names of an emo band or the names of a Lord Byron poem.
Of a poem. Emo band or poem.
So it's either emo band or Byron.
I love it. I'm not going to get these right, but I love the premise.
Design. The first one is The Dream.
Emo band.
It is Lord Byron. The poem.
Damn it!
The second one is Newfound Glory.
Well, if I say emo band every time, maybe I'll get some of these right. Emo band.
Yeah. It is a band.
Yeah!
The next one is Farewell, My Love.
Lord Byron poem.
That's a band. It is
I
believe an emo band from Chicago. The next one is She Walks in Beauty.
Oh, that's Byron.
That is Byron.
I've read that one.
The next one is Darkness.
That's not both?
It is not both.
Hold on. I got you. Heads, it's an emo band. Emo band.
It is Byron. There is a glam rock band called The Darkness that believes in a thing called love. If you would just listen to the rhythm of their heart. The next one is, and we got I think 5 left. Pierce the Veil.
This is an impossible test.
It is shocking how many emo bands sound like Byron poems.
What's the phrase again?
Pierce the Veil.
Emo band.
Correct.
Okay.
Next one, Rites of Spring.
Byron.
Emo band.
Come on, man.
All right, only 3. If you're down to the final 3. This Providence.
Byron.
Emo band. Second to last. Stanzas for Music.
Byron.
Yes.
Okay.
And the final one, Before Their Eyes.
Emo band.
It is an emo band.
Okay.
I think you did way better than most people would, given how insane it is that so many emo bands sound like Lord Byron's poetry.
Yeah, it's insane. I did know one. I've read one.
And then the very last question, we had one that you sort of answered about Sam, so I will say we'll change it up slightly, and that is since you not knowing this and only sort of knowing Sam as your close friend / work husband, do you think that Sam already has a character concept and he's just going to try and wait for that sweet live applause to make a debut? Or do you think, regardless of if he shows or not, Sam has still not worked on a new backup character? Like, do you think Sam had a character in the tank or not?
100% not knowing. I'm going to guess that he has like a multiple choice floating and just hasn't plucked one out of the ether.
Oh, nice.
That's because he comes up with lots of ideas. So that I think it would be more in that direction.
Awesome. Well, perfect. Well, you made it through the lightning round. You made it through maybe our favorite lightning round yet. And I'll let Christian sign us off.
I actually have one bonus lightning round question.
Go ahead.
Ask. Of all the live show costumes that Sam has pulled out,
great question.
Which one is your favorite?
It's the pink one with the glowing light in the crotch area.
Oh, the roller skate wingsuit pink one?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah.
I believe that's the correct answer.
I can think of no better way of promoting the live show than, come to the live show and see what garishly amazing thing Sam Riegel will put on for your amusement. So that's probably a good way to end it. Thank you so much for letting you. We took up a lot of your time, so thank you very much for that.
What did we do? Oh my goodness, that's fine.
Yeah, well, I could ask you a lot more minutia about various Critical Role stuff dating back to Campaign 1, but I'm not going to do that. We'll save that for another time.
All right, next time.
You really need to kill that fly. So
I'm gonna try to free him.
That's
like
very
like a champion of the gods trapped in a ball.
Like a ball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Free him. Let him go.
Mm-hmm.
And then send that hint along to Matt. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll get Vax back. We'll get him back.
Just open the door. Open the office door, Matt. Let him out.
I think I've told you this before. Vax is like my favorite character in Critical Role history.
Aww. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm fond of him too.
Just one little side note there. Anyways, this has been the character sheet. Thank you so much, Liam. The live Critical Role live show is on Saturday, June 15th. It will appear on VOD. We'll stream, obviously, following Thursday, and VOD the Monday after that. Check out Critical Role. I think just about everyone who subscribes to our channel does that already. But if you haven't, there's a lot of great content. It is a easy vortex to get sucked into. And it's worth every single minute, let me tell you. Well, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Oh yeah, do the liking and the subscribing and all the other things I'm supposed to, do the YouTube stuff for. So do all that. And until next time, thank you again, Liam.
Oh, much appreciated. Thanks for having me.